What's popping, y'all? This Empress J, the Healing Oracle, okay? And I'm tapping back in for another message with another day, okay? I hope that everybody's feeling healthy, wealthy, beautiful, wonderful, all of this stuff. And I hope that this message finds you in a good place. If you are not in a good place, may you find peace at the end of this video. May I say something that can help you wherever you at, okay? Oh, I've missed you. And I hope that you are feeling well in this Pisces season. Okay, of course I had to tap into my season like, yo, of course, okay? So it's mermaid season, with this new beginning, right? We've had 3 or 4 new beginnings just in the beginning of this year alone. The fiscal new year, then you got the Chinese new year, then you got the official new year with spring coming in and planting new seeds and new things being born and the beginning of the new. Are you feeling that? Are y'all feeling it? Okay, because I came to tell you, you done passed that test. Whatever that was, whatever it was on the inside that you hadn't dealt with yet, it seems as if you're dealing with it. You're healing, okay? And that's what we need right now. That's what this time is calling for us to do, to continue to work on putting the things that we need to put into them suitcases, right? And sitting them in front of whatever you believe in, God, he, she, they, whatever. Higher power, the universe, just continuing to put those things that we no longer need that hold us back, give us anxiety and depression and all that stuff. That's not real. All that stuff is bottled up emotions that we have to deal with and we have to heal through, okay? So constantly putting these unnecessary feelings and things that are not allowing us to move on from them, we have to place them and put them into that suitcase, okay? And you go put that in front of God's feet and you walk on away. Now, when you walk away, what happens is you start to release, okay? Because when you're putting that into the suitcase, you're saying, here, God, you handle that, okay? Because there are things, understanding, first of all, what you can change, knowing what God can change, and having that belief system that He gonna do it. It's just going to be done. Once you put it in that suitcase, it's already there. It's like, it's a commitment between you and them, you and he, you and she, saying that, like, I know and I respect the fact that you can handle the things I cannot. You can give me clarity on the things that I cannot find clarity on my own. Waiting for those signs, waiting for the symbols, being very clear with yourself, right? So you could be quiet. So finding those times and those moments when you can connect the spirit, when you hear spirit calling you, right? Finding rituals like morning routines, different things that you can do to help you get closer to the inside, right? Because anxiety, depression, all of these things just come from unanswered prayers, right? Things that we haven't dealt with, unanswered issues on the inside. Everything that comes your way, you can deal with it. And if you've been doing what these different seasons and these different years have been allowing us to do, because see, what happens is every year the energy is renewed and it's a year for a certain thing, because the planets are in a different alignment. So with the different planetary alignments, it gives us different energies that we can tap into, different things that we can now confidently release, right? So 10 years ago, you may not have been able to release the things that happened to you in your first 20 years of life. But at this point, you can release everything now. These last few years have been able to anchor us into a new way of being, thinking, and feeling, okay? So if you are tapped in correctly right now, I said right now, you floating. You feeling as high and as close to God as you can. Stay there. And don't you let nothing come in now and attack that, because you have your armor on. You know where to put the suitcases at, and you know how it feels to release, and so you can have space for new things, okay? You have passed those tests, okay? So now this year is going to continue to move very fastly, okay? But if you ever seen a beautiful horse, flowing and doing what they do, galloping, it's a beautiful dance. I've always talked about this dance. So now we've been dancing for a few years now. So now we're able to know all of the steps, You know all of the steps, and you know exactly when to make that next move. When that left foot's about to turn, you know, now we pivoting, constantly pivoting freely, and we're not afraid. We're no longer afraid of ourselves, the things we hear, the things we see, the things we are becoming. Thank you, Spirit, for the confirmation, okay? Your discernment has gotten deeper, right? Your spiritual evolution has gotten stronger, okay? So continue to spiritually evolve. Continue to know who you are, because the new celebrities, the new people that will be followed will be authentic and genuine themselves. They will be real as real can be, right? Just a beautiful reflection of what that God love looks like when you're completely tapped into the self, when you allow yourself to release all the things that drain you, and you really know who you are through the things that God is allowing you to see and feel because of the planetary shifts, because of the way that each year has been able to open us up to more, okay? The veil is so thin. It's going to continue to stay thin for those who can truly see and hear and feel and are working with their gifts, okay? Working with your gift is where the money is at. That's where the wealth is at. That's how you call in your true wealth. It's by working on your gifts, using them, okay? And not being in any kind of way in a rush to do anything. Because if it's yours, it's nothing that you need to run and go get. It's yours already. Like God already stamped your name on it. And then you constantly do the work that allows you to keep it. Okay, because yeah, there are gifts, but if you don't work on it, you can lose it. And it can also become like a counterproductive. So it just will work against you if you don't work on it, okay? And that's with everything in your life. And everything connects together. Each and everything is a complete circle, right? So know that, like, doing one thing opens up another thing. So once you heal you, then you can see the things in your line, your generation, that you can clearly fix, right? It's not easy. I didn't say easily. I said clearly. Once you can see the issue, then you can find a solution. Being more tapped in, solution-based, them solutions come easily. So now it's like, okay, I have everything inside. I have my toolbox on the inside completely filled with the things that I need to build a new life and build a new, build new tools. I mean, a new foundation for the next generation. Okay, that is our job, right? So we've been given the strength to do this work. This is not easy work. However, it is harder to stay a mess than it is to work on yourself. So if you can hear my voice, like I've said, you have passed the test, okay? Knowing who you are is the first step. And that's the hardest work, because once you get there, everything else is easy. You are tapped in to the point where you say what you need and you get whatever it is, okay? So constantly knowing, yeah, I'm saying you flowing now. You and God tapped in, boo, boo, boo. You ain't got to do too much to open up that channel, because the veil has been thin, and it would remain thin for those who are doing the work. The signs come easily, right? Life's good when you're praying, staying strong, eating good and healthy, giving your body what's necessary. And now your internal world has meshed with your your outside world, and now it's all one, right? Oh, God is so pleased. God is pleased with us. Very pleased with you for doing that fucking work, bro. That's hard. That wasn't easy. Good job. I'm so proud of you. So if you've been honing in and tapping in, you're going to get your aha moment. There is going to be a moment soon that's going to be like, boom, that's it. That's what I've been waiting for. See, with the grass clean all around you, when it's low, you can see everything. Everything is clear, okay? You can see where to plant the next seeds. You can see what grass is dying, where that area, that patch needs to be tilled. You can see everything. Constantly keep that grass clean and low around you, so you can see snakes. You can see anything, okay? Pay attention to 369. 3, 6, 9. Things are going to start rolling in those ways. So you're going to have 3 things that happen, and then 6 things, and then 9 things. And then it also will be changing in your life. 3 months, 6 months, and then 9 months will be something else. Okay, 3, 6, 9. Those are the way that the messages, the lessons, and the blessings are going to be coming in this year. 3, 6, and 9. Okay. I'm still standing. Spirit went to say, you still standing. You looking like a true survivor. Okay. So what's been going on, why I was going, is because I was in a mandated wilderness. So if you had to be quiet, if you had to pull back for a year or 2 years, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, it was a mandatory wilderness where you had to go into the forest because that's where the messages were, right? And so you've been able to get those 12 gifts that we need to move forward with, right? So if you don't understand what was going on with you, you've been in the wilderness, you've been quiet, you mandated, it was necessary. You had to do it. It's nothing that, you know what I'm saying? When you have a mandatory day, you gotta go to work, you just gotta go. Like there's nothing around. You can't get around that. You can't say, nah, I don't want to do it right now. God said, take your butt over there and sit down. And that's what you had to do for the last few years, okay? But we came out with 12 lessons that we've learned, okay? And I'm going to quickly go through them, and I'm hoping that my phone does not, cut off the message, okay? If it does, I will be back. So the first one, because we were in the wilderness. Now we're in the rewriting, okay? Rewriting. So in our solitude, first thing, you had to be isolated. Yo, they trying to mess with my words. Mercury retrograde is still affecting us, okay, even after it's over. So isolation, you had to learn what it felt like to be in solitude, okay? Not lonely, but isolated, so that you can clear up those unnecessary thoughts, words, things, whatever. You have to sit, you have to be quiet, okay? You have to, because so that God could help install something new into you. Boom, upgraded, okay? Our internal compass, our internal system was upgraded. You cannot be upgraded around masses, around everybody. You had to be isolated so that circuit board could be worked on and upgraded and advanced now. Okay, boom. Second thing is your discernment has gotten better. Now you know who needs to stay and who needs to go. You know the truth when you see it, and you know a lie when you see it. You're very strong in that area now. Your discernment is top tier, okay? Continue to know that. 3, you've went through your ego death. The things that made you feel like you had to have them. You needed to be in the trench. You needed to, you have to just move forward with your ego. That has died. That is no longer where you're moving from. Now you're moving from your truest nature, your truest self, okay? If you learn how to forgive. You have learned how to forgive. And you've learned that forgiveness is for you, okay? The 5th thing was you learned how to be silent. You learned the power in silence. You learned the power in being quiet. That didn't mean that you were in a lack. It just meant you needed to be quiet. And with silence, you can hear so much, okay? 6, detachment. You learned how to detach from the things that no longer are giving you what you need and what are no longer helping your life, okay? Good job. 7, your intuition has increased. It has become so strong, and you know now that that is the true voice of God. When your intuition taps you and it says no, you know that that's God talking to you. That's your direct line, and you have worked on that. Good job. Okay. 8, we're gonna go self-provision. Even when the bank was at 0, you knew that you was gonna eat. Okay, self-provision, being able to provide for oneself, okay, knowing that having money is just energy, okay? And you are a bank of energy. And good job, you know what I'm saying? You got your savings up and all of that. Good job with that. Your wealth is always found on the inside. So learning how to provide for oneself using your gifts, your talents, and your skills, that is what will increase your bank account both ways, inside and out. 9, frequency boundaries. You've learned how to put limits on your frequency. And you've learned how to toggle between the middle, the top, and the bottom. You've learned how to say no to the lower vibrations, okay? No longer integrating them, no longer trying to bring them up to where you're at. You know now. They have to meet you there or you have to leave them there. They got to meet you where you are or you got to leave them where they at. There's nothing around that anymore. We not saving no damn body. You got to save yourself. Number 10, patience master. Okay, you've mastered the patience. You've mastered it within yourself, outside of yourself, all around yourself. That is a God-given talent. To be patient, to be quiet, to learn to just be and flow. That is a beautiful gift to have learned. 11, authority. Okay, you have command over your atmosphere, over your sphere, over everything around you. You command that energy. You command that frequency. You know now what you need to do to move forward, and you walk in with that. 12, gratitude. Okay, you thanking God for the storm while still within it. Thanking God for the storm while still within it, okay? And I believe that that is one of the most beautiful things. Being able to still be at peace when everything around you is falling apart, because we've learned now that when they fall apart, when things all of a sudden just fall apart, that means that something else is falling together. And that has to be the constant moment. Like at this point, right, we've passed the big test. You don't worry about the little stuff. You don't sweat it anymore. There's no need. When you sweat that small stuff, you are saying to God that you don't believe in him. You don't trust him. You don't trust the things that you're feeling, the things that you're seeing. You got to now. You walking with that head held high. You know exactly who you are now. You know exactly, because of the isolation, because of that mandated wilderness, it gave you the chance to learn now and put everything together. See, God gave us time to go through the bad stuff and then time to want to get out of that. Not be like that anymore, right? Because you see yourself at your lowest. And then he gave you a chance to learn new things and to heal. That was all for a reason. Every single step, he's been with you. Everything he knows you needed, he's given you. So now is our turn to give back. And the way we give back is by walking in our gifts with our head high and believing in everything that we've learned, everything we've released, being able to now be as strong as we need to be for the next step, which we will be getting some more information, and God will be giving, he will be giving your next ordered steps, because he knows now you're ready, because you've passed all of those big tests and you've given yourself the chance to tap in. So congratulations. Happy birthday to all of my Pisces, okay? Continue to do what you need to do in these seasons. What you feel, walk with that. Believe in yourself. Continue to believe in what God is sending to you, through you, and do your job, okay? Continue to smile. Continue to believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, the belief, the faith, and walking with that is everything, okay? That's what sets us apart from everybody else. The belief, the work. Continue to do that shit. Continue to do that work. God see you, okay? I'm Empress Jade, the Healing Oracle, and I love you, and have a beautiful, wonderful day. Later.